Welcome back to the Tu-Vie podcast, your TV movie entertainment needs podcast. I'm your host, James. And sitting with me, of course, as always, my co-host, Colin. How you doing, pal?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I didn't like pal. I'll tell you that. I'm trying to find a new word every time I introduce you. And pal, I tried lad last week. Felt a little short. Pal felt even shorter.
How do you say hi to me when I call you?
When I say, hey, man, or what's up, dude, or usually for the last, I don't know, was it
We'll
7
try that.
years?
We'll try it.
We'll try what?
Just say, being a little more formal.
I
A little
don't
more.
know. How you doing,
Hey,
sir?
no,
Good
I
morning.
hate that.
Good morning,
I hate
gentlemen.
that.
You hate sir?
I do not like it at all. It
Really?
just makes it feel weird.
Yeah. All right. I mean, at a certain age when you're younger and you've been told sir, it does feel a little weird. I will be honest.
Yeah, because
What's the age where it feels okay?
um
45?
I haven't been there yet, so I'll let you know.
Sounds good. Just call me whenever you get to that point. Keeping up with our writer's trend, we are sticking with the writer's filmography that we've been doing the last almost, I think, 2 months now, maybe 3 or 4 months. I don't know. However long the writer's strike was, and now continuing with the actor strike, we're going to be covering a little bit of theirs. But this week we are talking about Quentin Tarantino. Super excited to talk about this one. I will say I watched a lot of his movies this week in preparation for this because I haven't seen him in a long time. So let's get into it. First question I want to get to. How many did you see?
How many juicy?
How many did you see?
Oh, I thought you said juicy. You were quiet there for a minute.
Not bad.
I see. Pulp Fiction, Hateful Eight, Django, Reservoir Dogs, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Kill Bill 1 and 2. No, only Kill Bill 1. I did see 80% of Kill Bill 2. I just do not know the ending.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. So you got through most of his wow. You got through most of his filmography.
This was the easiest assignment, and a lot I just go based off of memory. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was probably my most watched out of all. I
still haven't seen it. I still didn't get a chance to watch it this week.
Then okay, talking about that would be a waste of time. Dude,
I've been meaning to. It's just like I can't find it anywhere that I got streaming to. But I watched essentially the same things you did. Besides Kill Bill's Volume 1, Volume 2. Again, I haven't seen them in a while. I wanted to refresh my memory on that. But yeah, those were pretty much his bigger ones. What's your favorite? I think I know the answer to this, but I just want to see if I'm right.
Okay, it's kind of a tie, but they're both very different.
Yeah.
Not very different, but I mean,
all of his movies are pretty different.
With Quentin, like, they're different, but they have the same pace, like very kinetic energy.
Sure,
and also, even with the dialogue and writing, it still feels fast paced, which really helps with me in my ADHD brain. I think it's the 4-hour cut of The Hateful Eight or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
So I was going to ask you for the Hateful Eight. Do you watch the extended?
Yeah.
I never saw the original, so I didn't know what to compare it to. But 4 hours is quite a long time, man. It's a really long time.
On Netflix, though, they break it down into, so it's not like one full thing. It's like, hit play next for the next chapter or whatever.
Yeah. I did like that. They made it a lot easier to watch. I will say that. Unlike the Snyder cut where it was
Dude, leave it alone. It's an amazing movie.
It's a great movie. I'm just saying it was really long.
No, it was the right amount of time, and you're insane.
I'm not saying it was bad. I think
I think
you're getting it a little. I think you're getting my words twisted here.
No,
I had some fun.
Not reading anything into it. I know exactly what you meant.
Okay, thanks, man. I'm a big fan of it.
I'm a huge fan. I love that movie.
I know. I
almost talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Huh?
Are we still talking about?
We're still talking. I don't know why we should. I don't know why we are. So your favorites are the 4-hour cut of the Hateful Eight and the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Still haven't gotten to that one. I do want to get to that. But my favorite two, very different, but also super, super good, is either Django or The Bastards. Those are both so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Very, 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 very. Jesus, dude, I love Inglourious Bastards.
It's so cool. Like I think though the best revenge story that I've ever seen is Django Unchained. I also haven't seen a lot of them, but I think Django is just so cool.
Yeah, Django. All right, Do you know that Will Smith was supposed to be Django?
Yeah, glad that didn't happen. No
I
offense.
now we say
No,
it.
I think Jamie Foxx was a perfect choice.
I'd like to peek into that multiverse and see what Will Smith would have done. I'm just
I
curious.
100% believe he would have been like, I'm Django. Like, that's hot. That's hot. It's like
I'm gonna
he would not take it serious. He would be so much more of a comedy.
we're gonna hang up and restart that. I did not like that impression at all.
I'm not that I'm very good with niche impressions like Kermit or Donald Duck.
I think Will Smith would have been fine. I
I
am
don't know.
glad that I'm glad that it was Jamie Foxx.
I
I
just
mean,
felt
he
like Jamie Foxx can bring that. He has that very serious face. Well, Will Smith, you're thinking it's going to be a comedy the minute you go into Jamie Foxx. He's got range.
but like it really like okay, like the bar scene in Django, where it
Jamie
all
killed it.
all ends with I forget his name, the doctor, what's his face? What's his
Doctor King Schultz.
Okay, yeah, dude, he killed it, and when it all ended to him being like, "You just owe us $200," it's amazing. And that clan scene with Jonah Hill, where they're all talking about the masks,
That's
it's
surprisingly funny.
it is surprisingly funny. And
Yeah, by the way, sorry, it was Christoph Waltz. His character was King Schultz. I didn't know if that's who you were talking about. Christoph Waltz.
it's good to even know the actor because I'm bad with names.
Okay, cool. But no, yeah, the bag scene. It was really it was a when I first saw it, it was a really like big shock because I didn't expect to. Like it really just shows how stupid they were. But I like how the one guy was like, "You ungrateful sons of bitches are too busy complaining. Don't ask me your mind for nothing." And he just walks off. He just goes home. And
Uh,
Jonah Hill's tearing the bag
Don't ask
even more.
me and my wife's to do you nothing.
Yeah, and the fact that Jonah Hill out of nowhere,
Just for 2 seconds.
just for like, it's so
You know,
random. It's like
Quentin
anybody got an extra
Tarantino
bag? What are you saying?
Quentin Tarantino can get away with that. He's like, "Hey, you want to make a cameo? Yeah, let's make it happen." He does the same thing with Channing Tatum in The Hateful Eight. Just like out of nowhere, Channing
Yeah, but
Tatum.
Channing was like a full on character at the end, and
No, he wasn't. He was only
no,
there
I
for
mean
three minutes.
he had more time. He had more time than Jonah Hill.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm still regardless. Like he
Yeah,
was like one like small sliver out of the giant ass pie. Like
I
I guess
yeah.
that's an analogy I just
No,
made up. But
I'll count that. I mean that'll make sense. I hear you.
I
But
appreciate.
I think with something like Tarantino. Oh crap! Well, I forgot to do the normal thing, Colin. With every director, we do this the common thing about their movies. The top four known for. What
Yeah.
is your top four known for?
Pulp Fiction, Django, Reservoir Dogs, and I'm gonna shoot for the fences. Kill Bill.
Wow, 2 out of the 4, Colin.
A lot better than last time.
I think no, I think you got 2 out of the 4 on the last director. It is Dogs. Wow, Reservoir Dogs. Wow, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and the
Damn,
most outrageous one of them all, From Dusk Till Dawn. What?
James, why don't we talk a little bit more
Yeah,
about Dust
let's
Till
talk
Dawn?
about that movie because I don't like that movie.
Why?
It's so random. Like spoilers for everything we're talking about, by the way. It's about these two criminals. They kidnap this woman because they were like they just kidnapped the bank and everything. Quentin Tarantino is a creep in the movie. Then they kidnap this other family, go to Mexico, and got hard hitting dialogue with, "Where are we going? Mexico. What's in Mexico? Mexicans." And then this weird turn of events where Selma Hayek turns into a vampire snake thingy and kills like 7 dudes. The bar is a bunch of vampires. It's just so random. Felt like an episode of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Well, when you say it out loud, it's not as cool.
No, it's not. It's so random. It's like here's a story about a man who was a slave that got his freedom and went on a revenge killing spree to free his wife. Here's a story of a different change in World War II on how this group of these rogue soldiers, found a way to kill Hitler and this woman who got revenge for her family at the exact same time. Here's a story about this character called the Bride, a great name. just having to murk some people. Essentially, we're talking about that in a minute. In one long movie, split into two parts, going on this kick-ass adventure. Vampires. I don't see the jump.
Uh, well, I mean, also, like, I mean, even yeah, it is a weird jump. But
It's so random.
I mean, he went from The Hateful Eight to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I mean, he definitely like because
Yeah, I
his
mean, his consistency in stories are never the same. He doesn't have one consistent thing other than the red apple cigarettes. It's the only
I
consistent
know
thing.
that I know that Quentin didn't direct Dusk Till Dawn. He wrote it.
Really?
Does he count that as one of the like one of the limited
Oh, he
movies?
doesn't. Yeah, he didn't direct it. What
Because
was your
like
question?
he said that after like I think or 10 or 11 movies he's going to be finished directing. Does he count
Oh,
Dusk Till
10.
Dawn?
It no, it doesn't count. I don't believe so. Because that's not in his. Because the 10 that he's done so far are Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill Volume 2, uh, Death Proof,
Inglorious Bastards.
Inglorious Death Proof, Inglorious Bastards, Django Unchained, Hateful Eight. So I don't think he counts Death Proof then.
Yeah, did he direct that one?
Well, it says he has a credit under director, but
He has a credit. What is the other
it just says
credit?
it says he has a director's credit.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if that was one that he wrote and direct. Is that what makes it his then?
I because I don't know if Dusk Till Dawn is because that's one of his like earlier movies.
Well, no, that's not even okay. So that's written and directed by him. I don't know. Yeah, he said 10 movies and then he's done. That's been like his. That's like been his thing.
Because I know that he has like one more that he's trying to do. I don't know what it is.
So it's in pre-production. Really, you can't say much about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. But
it
also,
exists.
it
That's it.
exists. It's being made, and that's what's sad about it is that it exists and it's being made. Because I
Like,
like well, because then he's done directing.
oh, okay. I thought you were gonna be like, oh, no, I want another one from him, dude.
That's exactly why I said it's sad that it's the last one. But then I mean, he's also working on like TV shows and other things, so it's not like he has nothing to do. I'm sure he's going to be some kind of producer in some things, but it's still going to suck to see not
He's a
anything
bit of
coming
a
out.
novelist as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wrote
Oh, that's
on
right.
our Martin Scorsese episode, he wrote Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in book format, and it actually answers a lot of the questions and elaborates on information in the movie. I personally, I'm not going to say anything about what's in the book because, I mean, it kind of spoils a lot of big questions or like,
Hmm.
mysteries in the original movie. So if you want to know those answers, either Google it or pick up a book.
I actually might go watch that movie and then read the book.
Yeah, that's the order you actually need to
I'll
go
probably
in.
do that whenever I get around to that. His best character, I think, in my opinion, is either Django or the Bride. Uma Thurman's
Mm.
character.
Yeah, Django's pretty cool.
Django's
Oh,
badass.
you know that Quentin Tarantino he wrote a comic book called I don't Django and Zorro where it's a team up.
No shot, really?
Look it up.
Dude, that's rad. Hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
Whoa. Dude, that looks rad. Do you have it?
I don't have it. But the cover artist who did that, Jay Lee, he doesn't do the interiors, which is a bit of a bummer, but he makes some incredible comic book covers.
Dude, that's sick. And I'm assuming it's Antonio Banderas' Zorro, right?
Uh, possibly,
I mean, I
possibly.
would assume
I
because
don't know the
that's the
exact.
more well-known one.
I don't know if Django's gonna be like, "Are you Antonio Banderas' Zorro?" But they'll probably like have some elaborate on information from that particular Zorro.
I'm just saying, I think you can pick it up if you've seen the movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Um,
But what do you think? So you think Django is his best character? Because for me, it's the tie between the bride and him.
I really, I'll be honest. Brad Pitt from Once Upon a Time, or
figured you were gonna say
Brad
that.
Pitt from Inglorious
I
Bastard.
knew you were gonna say something with Brad Pitt.
Because
Be
like,
like, go
because Brad
around
Pitt.
me,
Oh my god, I love this. So he's like,
arrivederci.
"Oh, you'll be shot for this." No, I'll be chewed out. No,
I've
I've
been
been
chewed
chewed
out.
out before.
Yeah, I've been chewed out before. I'll be.
You know something, you bitch? This just might be my masterpiece.
Yeah, and then that's how it ends. Like,
Yeah,
that's so sweet,
it's
dude.
and dude, that theme they got is just it hits so
Pretty
hard.
rad. Yeah, that's pretty rad. I do like the way he makes these movies, and for a man who loves feet as much as he loves the N word, it sometimes it's just so much, and then as well he's where he said it's best because it's so much fun. Chan, get it when it comes to the gratuitous fight scenes, violence, red
And we
all over the
love him for
screen.
it.
But that's
Okay.
like his staple. Like the scene in Django where there was just ketchup flying throughout the whole set was insane. Like that scene where he's on the guy and he just keeps getting pelted with bullets and it just keeps splattering. But also outside of Django, of that incredible fight scene, I love the scene where he's actually getting his revenge. And he's talking to the woman on the stairs. And she goes like, before you go, say goodbye to Miss Mimi. And they're like, what? It's like, say goodbye. He's like, goodbye, Miss Mimi. And he shoots her straight, but she goes flying hard left. Do you know what I'm talking about? That was the greatest stunt trick I have ever seen. He hit her so hard, she changed directions.
If you get shot in a Quentin Tarantino movie, you're flying.
You're going airtime, dude.
There is no physics in any of his movies.
No, none that makes sense. And I think that's what makes them also, again, so fun. But I
Yeah.
believe I watched Pulp Fiction long time ago. Can't confidently say, so I don't remember much of it. So I essentially was watching it for the first time again the other day. Nothing could have prepared me for the pawn shop scene. Not a single thing.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I don't know how we can talk about that without
We're not gonna, because it's so messed up. But if you are watching Pulp Fiction for the first time, if you're listening to this and you're gonna watch Pulp Fiction, once Bruce Willis and Ving Rhames are tied up in the chair in the under part of a pawn shop, just be warned, it's not gonna be fun. I for sure didn't like that. Fun fact to you, Colin, because you like the Hateful Eight so much. So for the Hateful Eight, the guitar scene that Daisy Domergue, the scene where she's kind of sitting up against the post, she was playing Jim Jones at Botany Bay, a very very well-known song, and she was playing it on a highly valued antique from the 1870s on loan from the Martin Guitar Museum, worth some about $40,000. It's a pretty expensive guitar. At the end of the song, the script called for John the Hangman Ruth, Kurt Russell's character, to grab the guitar and smash it into bits. 6 replicas were built for the shoot and were supposed to be substituted for the shot, but due to a miscommunication, Kurt Russell was not informed that they were copies and destroyed the original guitar before anyone could stop him.
No.
And so Jennifer Jason Leigh's shocked reaction, as you see, is genuine to the film, and that since then the museum has never loaned a guitar to a movie. They said we're never doing that again. So when she's like looking around and everything, she's like looking at the set, be like, "Excuse me," and Kurt Russell, of course, didn't do it on purpose. He had no clue. That is insane.
That makes that scene 10 times better.
When you go back and watch it, it's a lot.
Dude, I thought, because like when I first saw it, I was like, "Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. It's a guitar. You're a criminal. Who gives a?" But that,
knowing now,
dude, holy shit. I feel bad for Kurt Russell though, like because you have to assume he felt horrible.
Oh yeah, I mean, you destroyed an antique that was decades old.
You said, yeah, 18th century.
That's what it said. No, 1870s. That's what it said.
Still 18th century.
17th century. No.
Oh. What is the number you are saying?
I think, hold on. It's the 17th century. Because it's always one less than what the actual year was. Like, we're in the 20th century.
It's not in the 2000s.
We're in the 21st century. So it's the 19th century then. 18, and then the 19th were the 20th.
This will be the next 40 minutes of our podcast.
It's the next 40 minutes. Shows how smart we are at this hour. Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino, of course, has the very extreme, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not callbacks, but like, well, I guess it could be callbacks when it comes to his writing. But the way he directs has like very obvious camera tricks. Like he has the kinetic camera shot. He's got the inside the trunk camera shot. Like whenever they lift, or it's like from the perspective of the
So
person.
cool.
Yeah, and he's also
Yeah.
got very good close up on feet, exaggerated shots on feet. So there's a lot of visual staples to his work, like the gratuitous violence and a certain use of a specific word. And it's also weird to know that he's writing that, and then he can just see himself like he puts a part for him to. I saw this actually. I saw a tweet that was the scene of Tobey Maguire drawing all the different. It was a montage of him, like like the from the Sam Raimi movie, of
Yeah.
him making his
Wait,
suit.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like Quentin Tarantino writing a script where he can say the N word and suck on a woman's foot. And it's a scene where Peter's doing the thing. I'll try and find it and pull it here. But I was like, yeah, that's very true on how often he did it. And
Oh,
it's wild.
another fun fact about Django, because I just wanted to touch on
Bring it.
this. A lot of people know about this, but I want to be able to talk about it. And
Oh,
so that scene with Leonardo DiCaprio's character, where he smashes a glass, he actually smashed his hand,
yeah.
and I, I'm a little bit wary on this thing, but I think after he smashed his hand, completed the scene, Quentin was impressed. They were debating on because like he smears his hand on that lady's face, and
Terry Washington. Yeah.
they were debating whether or not they would use fake blood or actually use Leo's blood.
Gross.
I don't have an answer for that, but I like to keep it open.
Yeah, and I hope if they, I don't know. I just hope nothing bad happened from that because that just could have been super gross.
Dude, I'd let Leo smear blood all over me. I don't give a shit. Dude, that guy's a treasure.
Yeah, I mean, recently there was an article that came out about him and his new girlfriend at a party. Um, if you know about the article, you'll know what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say it here. I'll tell you after the. I'll tell you after the recording
Why are you doing this to me?
because it's weird. I don't really want to get into it on the pod. It's nothing bad. He
Don't
didn't.
it up.
It's just I wanted to see if you knew. That's
No,
how you find out.
damn.
All
Is
right.
it like bad?
No, it's just like, huh? I've never thought. That's the kind of guy he is. But
It's
nothing
like
like added. It's nothing attitude. It's more like a personal.
is it just because he dates 25-year-olds? Like, what's the?
Aside from that, it's more like a it, I can't even describe it here. It's nothing bad. He doesn't say anything racist. It's just like when you see the picture.
What's going on?
I don't want to tell you here. I'll tell you after the podcast. Back to his camera work. Shut up. His camera work is very kinetic. It's very in person. Like you feel like the camera is an extension of either the character or it's its own character as it's progressing. Like that shot in Inglourious Bastards where Brad is talking, has the interpreter, and then the German soldier, and it kind of just goes, like left, right, left, middle, right, middle, left, to show like the back and forth of the conversation where Brad's talking to the interpreter to the German person, the
And then he
interpreter.
just points to the map as
Yeah,
well.
and he
I
just
know what show you're talking about.
yeah,
I must.
it's so good on how he can keep the camera alive in this movie because he makes it like I said an extension or it's its own character of whatever's going on because I feel like a person that can use the camera properly and I talked about this with Guy Ritchie for a little bit that when you do that it makes the movie feel less boring like it's not just planted and you're just watching people act. It makes it feel like you're a part of the real conversation, like you're playing tennis with this conversation, and it's really cool to see that he's been doing that for all his movies, like the talk with Vincent and Jules at the diner. It's a great way to wrap up the movie, and that's how I think he can like
That
solidify that
conversation
style.
also is really cool too.
Yeah, I do like it, and I think Pulp Fiction is his most. I think what's the word I'm looking for? Like I guess unique movie because it
It
doesn't
was
end.
unique at the time. Like no one else has ever.
Yeah,
No, at the time of that movie's release, just based off of the word of other people that were young and saw that
because
movie.
we weren't.
Nobody else seen a movie like that because it was never made. Nobody because like it is broken into chunks. It wasn't a linear story. It didn't
No,
have that first act, second act, traditional third act BS. It just
Mm.
was a. It's hard to. It's
Well,
weird
yeah,
to
it's
say anthology, but
yeah. I was gonna say anthology, but it's not. It's like it's a non-linear story that when you go back and watch it, you see what fits linear. Like if that makes
yeah.
sense.
When I like my first watch, it was like tough. I was like, I finished the movie and I was like, I don't know if I like that, but
Mm,
watching it a second time, it is very rewarding.
Oh yeah, and especially with Bruce Willis's moment of him going back to the apartment and you see Vincent there die, and then 20 minutes later he's back alive. You're like, whoa! Like if you're not paying attention, you're not gonna get it.
That car scene's the funniest thing in the world.
Where he was like, well, you got to take accountability, and you bah, and he's like, what are you? Broad daylight on the middle of the highway. He's like, oh, man, I shot him. It's like it was so calm. He's like, oh, man, I think I killed him.
That's a better impression. The Will Smith one was I didn't like that one,
I'm
but that was a good
sorry.
one.
I've never done a Will Smith impression. I wanted to
And
do a
and you should never.
I was basing it off of the YouTube rewind thing where he was
I
doing
know, and
it's
I was
rewind time. That's what I was trying to do. I'm sorry. Your Martin Scorsese was Mark Wahlberg.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll roll the clip.
I do love the commercial, like you said, the American Express one. It's like, hey Timmy, how about you turn 5
Where's
again?
the protagonist? Where's the antagonist?
It's like-
Where's the drama?
It's like
That's the one.
Yeah,
I
you're
have-
editing.
Oh yeah, I have all the access to everything you have ever said on the palm
You know-
of my hand.
You know, twice you've already used the Flash is going to be my #1 movie of the year.
Oh, I
again.
know. Oh, I know. I love it. And I will never let you forget the fact you thought The Flash was going to be the #1 movie of the summer.
Yeah. I was broken after I watched that movie.
We all were. It was a wild. Okay, get on to something more fun than The Flash. Welcome to the
Jack-
podcast. We're never consistent. For something about with Martin Scorsese. Wow. Quentin Tarantino. I think that was great. You didn't say a word, just the clapboard trick. That's I'm proud of you, Colin. I think with his movies is that I like how they're all essentially set in the same universe. Like essentially that's what he has said. That's what that
Whoa. No,
commonly
hold on.
has said. Commonly
said
has said.
that?
Common,
That's awesome.
maybe not verbatim from him, but essentially all of these movies have a lot of thing in common, and like there's like a lot of things that have been seen from other movies that kind of would connect it all in one thing. That's what I've heard, and every single time I've gone through his movies, as I'm watching him looking through the trivia page, it's like movies set the same universe as blah 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 blah. So I think it's kind of cool though how he's well because they never put some characters in his movies to the same location twice. Like no one character went to Germany or one character went to Mexico. It's all these different characters in various locations, and I think that's what makes the movie kind of cool because it's unique and it's set in its own place. But that can also then help build upon its independence as well as keeping that thing because the whole red apple cigarettes thing. That is the one common thing in all of his movies. Besides feet, is red apple cigarettes.
So would that mean that Rick Dalton, who Leonardo DiCaprio plays, is a descendant of Leo's character from Django?
I don't know because I don't think it's because they look the same. They're the same, like they're the part of the same family. I just think it's like same world, but he never goes to the same place twice. If that makes sense.
I mean, he
Because
goes to the same. He goes to the same genre, but he doesn't.
No, I meant
do
like
story.
location. Yeah, I meant like location. Like there was no
Okay.
movie where they go to where was a Hateful Eight taking place? Like Minnesota?
I was about to say Oregon.
No,
but
not
no.
Oregon.
It was who cares?
One of the places in the north. It was like a very snowy place. So there nothing goes there. No one goes to Mexico. no one goes back to these places where the bigger part of the movie was taking place. But I think that's what makes like I said, it keeps its independence, but at the same time can create this world.
Yeah.
That's just my thought. That's what I've heard. I don't know.
I mean,
think that'd be kind of
it's
cool.
really cool that all of his movies are taken in the same universe. It's just they're not
Yeah.
connected. But then it's that Edgar Wright thing of the
Yeah.
Cornetto rapper.
Exactly. Yes, it is essentially the Cornetto trilogy has now become the Red Apple Cigarettes
Saga.
Nine movies. Saga. That's a good one.
The Red Apple Saga.
The Red Apple Cigarette Saga. It's got a good.
The Raz.
Lost it.
Nope. Yep, I did.
You lost it. No, you had it, and then lost it. That's what.
It would be a waste of time to ask you to cut this because you'd say no.
I'm not saying no. I'm not cutting it. Back on again to his writing. I think his writing is very unique. Like you said, it does keep up a really good pace because he doesn't bore you with details. There are reasons why there are some things that are drawn out, like the I don't know if it was dinner or the dinner scene between Shoshana and
Django.
No, not Django. The Shoshana from the Inglourious Bastards.
Oh.
Trying to remember his name. I just said it earlier. Christoph Waltz.
Zemo?
Gosh. No.
Zemo. No, Zemo was there, right?
Yes, yeah. Daniel Brühl was in Inglourious Bastards. He was the soldier that they made the movie about at the end. That flirted with Shoshana.
Dude, what a
it was weird. By the way, also Michael Fassbender was in the movie. He was the British spy. And Mike Myers was in the movie too. He made a cameo.
Was it the two?
No, he goes. So he just like "Trae Glazer," and the guy was like. And as a kid, not kid, but when I saw it when I was younger, I'm like, why doesn't he like the number 3? And then they started shooting their nuts off. And I'm like, what's going on? And I found out when the woman was in the hospital, she's like, that's the German 3. I'm like, oh, that's also what I like about his writings, that he'll have a situation be caused by something, go on for a long time, finish out the entire scene, but then give you the reason why it happened well after it happened. So you're kind of stewing in it.
I'm going to show my kid Inglourious Bastards and be like, that's how we killed Hitler. Eli Roth shot him to death.
Oh, boy. Yeah, by the way, Eli Roth. I didn't realize that was Eli Roth until I was rewatching it. Dude, Eli Roth is jacked.
I know.
He is humongous.
His movies are terrible, but, he's a great actor.
He's got some pretty good ones.
Which ones?
Hold on, I'm going through his history.
I can tell you're a fan.
Hold on. Maybe I'm confusing it with someone else's. Hold on. Baywatch was fun.
Shut up.
Okay. I never saw The House with a Clock in its Walls. He has a new one coming out soon. What?
I think that had good. I don't know. I think that
I don't remember. I just don't know. Yeah, he has a new one coming out soon. Not gonna get into that. Okay, so I have never seen his movies. Then I thought I'd seen it. Oh, he did Knock Knock. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it.
Oh, is that the one where like
Keanu Reeves
tied up and oh no. Okay.
I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was stupid, crazy, dumb. I just felt nothing the entire time. But I will say though,
good movie. That's a sign. That's a sign of a good movie right there. You just feel nothing. You walk away, go about your day. Don't even give it a second thought. Yeah, I almost called it Keanu. James, you're too nice for your own liking.
I'm too nice for my own good. It's really not a great thing. Either way, Tarantino knows how to keep up a pace as well as write that pace, direct that pace perfectly. I think with his camera work, like I said, it makes a scene more personal in a way.
Yeah, it's because everybody that's ever worked with Quentin, and they come back to their his movies. Like he always wants to go. Like I think one of the behind the scenes of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he was just like sitting there all joyful. He's like, "We're gonna do another take," and why? And everybody in the crew was like, "Because
we love making
movies."
Yeah,
it's just it's he gives a shit, and he still does after ever since Pulp Fiction.
Close to 40 years.
You know, he can have a foot fetish if he wants and be as disgusting as possible. I don't care. But if he continues making those movies, I'm going to watch him. All right. If that's the worst that we get out of it, we're in a good place.
A bunch of feet? Is
I
that?
don't
I
don't know.
I feel like there's a lot of worse things
You
he's shown on there.
You can skip it if you want.
I do normally. Just like the scene in From Dusk Till Dawn.
You got to get over that scene, dude. You got to get over it.
With Salma Hayek's foot in his mouth and she's pouring the tequila down her leg.
I don't know. I think you heard the N-word quite a bit in quite a lot of his movies, but the foot was the line that we crossed.
Well, there was barely any in From Dusk Till Dawn, so that's out of the picture when I'm talking about that one. The N-word from not 35. That's an exaggerated number. It's 4 or 5 other movies he's done. Yeah, it was a little over the top. And it's like him writing it, just like, yeah, that's good. But essentially with From Dusk Till Dawn, it's him writing like Selma Hayek. I don't remember her character's name. Puts foot in. You think he puts his character's name or puts my mouth instead of like his character's name? Like puts it in my, almost like he's writing smut. It puts it in my mouth.
His character literally is just me written.
And From Dusk Till Dawn, his character was hella creepy. Like, not a fan of that one.
He just showed up at work.
Well, I wasn't a fan of it. But apparently also he has made a lot of fun cameos. Like one of the cameos for The Muppets Wizard of Oz, he played Kermit's director. Like he played himself, but he was just directing Kermit.
Gotta watch that later.
I cannot. Can you imagine Kermit makes a cameo in his last movie? Sucking on Miss Piggy's feet. Sorry. Shouldn't have said that one.
Yep. You did that too. I didn't need it. You did my job for me.
Sorry.
I'm going to give you a minute while I look this up.
What are you looking up?
Oh, dude, I'm going to add this to my queue later to watch later.
The Muppets Wizard of Oz?
Yeah. Dude, that's amazing.
It's dude, I recently rewatched The Muppets with Jason Segel. It came out in like 2013.
You didn't need to, but that's okay.
It's a cute movie. It's fun. And plus, I miss Jason Segel.
Which one is he?
The tall guy from How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, yeah.
I like him. He recently got back into the TV scene, but that's not enough. I think he's funny.
He did smaller indie movies. He did one with Jesse Eisenberg, where Jesse plays an interviewer following this guy's life, and Jason Segel played sort of hippie-ish kind of dude.
Yeah. I remember hearing. Yeah, that was like a real thing that happened. Like it was based on a true story.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of it.
I think he's doing well, though. I think he earned quite a bit of money to retire after How I Met Your Mother, because that lasted like 10, 11 years?
10 years, I think. Did you watch How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah, I've seen it. I can't rewatch it, though, but I've seen it.
Why can't you rewatch it?
I don't know. It doesn't hit quite the same.
I'll give you that. There are people, though, who think that How I Met Your Mother is better than, like, Seinfeld. It's not.
I was going to say something terrible, but can't say that.
Did you think I agreed?
No.
Okay, good, because Seinfeld is...
Those people don't deserve rights. And
okay. You didn't have to say it. I didn't tell you had to say it.
I had something worse lined up. That's the best you're going to get.
You know, Colin, you ain't got nothing nice to say. Don't say it at all.
Dude, I want to make a movie and have... Nope, never.
Just shut up. I feel like we're talking about nothing here.
Dude, Dusk Till Dawn is going to be my new favorite movie now. Just so the fact that scene comes up, I can think about
I hate that. I'm sorry. Is it like, why is that his top 4 known for? Let's get into this now, because I'm trying to focus on writing and directing, and you're not giving me anything. Let's get into this. No, let's get into it now. From Dusk Till Dawn is the dumbest movie he has made.
Agreed.
I don't know why it's I don't know why it's his top 4 known for. You could have picked Django, Kill Bill, Inglourious Basterds, Kill Bill Volume 2, Death Trap.
I don't know. I think that this world is has
going
terrible...
to hell. I want a hell in a handbag.
It's been going to hell.
That's the first sign. By the way, another reoccurring cameo of the Kurtz. We got the Russ back in this one. We had him last week for John Carpenter, and now we got him again for Quentin Tarantino, as well as his other cameos like Samuel Jackson, who's done 9 or 8 of his movies. 8 or 9. I think it's 8.
Yeah, you got Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Django. I don't think he did any. I don't think he
narrated Inglourious Bastards.
He narrated Inglourious Bastards. He wasn't in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or if he was, he probably did like one line, like the voiceover.
No, because the narrator was Kurt Russell in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah, that was like one line, but he also Kurt Russell. He did play a part though. He was I forget, but he was in a couple of scenes.
Yeah, Kurt Russell, I know he was in physical scenes. By the way, there's a Reservoir Dogs video game.
We got to play that video game,
bro. What the heck? It's a video game adaptation of the. It's a straight up adaptation for the original Xbox and PlayStation 2.
Is it just a torture simulator of just that guy, that song in the background and just dancing? Is it a dance revolution thing where you have map and the stuff?
It's just dance of just other movies he's in. So it's you and another person. I do the one from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, the Wii sensor that's wrapped around your hand in the shape of a knife, and then you have to jack it.
In the box is like a little ear. Oh, you think there was a collectible fake ear when you bought the game back in the day?
Collector's edition.
The collector's edition is just the ear and the like a fake barber's blade.
Each collector's edition is a small plastic piece of Quentin Tarantino's sex doll that he did use.
What?
Too far? Yep, too far.
I didn't know that was a thing.
No, I lied.
Oh my god, okay. Well, it wasn't so far out from... He sucked toes on camera. You think that's so far out of reach? Don't answer that question. I don't need to know the answer for that one.
James, that sounds like a challenge.
Accepted. That was the line from How I Met Your Mother, another How I Met Your Mother cameo. Challenge accepted.
Oh, accepted.
Yeah.
We're best friends.
Absolutely. Okay, again, feel like we're talking about nothing again. I'm trying to fix it.
No, we were definitely talking about something.
Quentin Tarantino wise. As much as he is a very creative mind where it comes to the stories, where he's like taking something that happened in history, like either World War II or a story like Django, and making it such a cinematic adventure, because he, like I said, is using the camera to perfectly use the camera as a character. Like the scene in The Hateful Eight, right after I already said spoilers, here we're good. Right after the crew killed everyone in Mimi's haberdashery, and you see the progression of like cleaning the place up, hiding the bodies, doing all these different things, to when Kurt Russell's character comes to the barn, and that moment of when the moments merge, you get the different perspective of the camera. Like, because when you first see them, they're on the outside of the barn, and Bob walks out, he's talking to them in the cart. But then when the cameras come back, it's this scene where you have the camera inside the haberdashery looking outside. And I think that's really cool, because when you go back, you don't see the camera. Like, he does a great job hiding the camera. I don't know how he does it.
And to add on, like, and specifically about The Hateful Eight, because I keep on forgetting this, other than the carriage, because that takes a big chunk of the movie.
It's like 2 hours.
It all takes place in one location.
And I like that.
And you forget it, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, and you also see like it going through the changes, the history behind it, whoa, what is the word?
This is your juxtaposition all over again.
Yep, I can't say that word.
Unraveling?
The unraveling the mystery behind, because like the only person that suspects anything is Samuel Jackson's character, until he gets that one Confederate soldier to be on his side, which at the end, tell me you didn't get pumped like, oh my god, thank you for.
Well, I thought they were gonna tear up the place,
dude. And then they just
also like a title called The Hateful Eight. There's 12 guys in the entire movie.
Don't think about it.
I can't stop. He's a liar. Could called the unsettled 12. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, God. You're so lame.
Man, I'm just trying to keep a podcast interesting. You're giving me nothing here.
Ew.
I'm here. You're about here. I'm not digging this energy here, man. But yeah, it's great when by the way, also I can't
The unsettled 12.
Shut up. I can't remember his name. He's the other Confederate soldier that they picked up on the carriage ride.
Homeboy from Ant and the Wasp.
And I was just gonna say the guy from the Righteous Gemstones. We talked about him last week. I can't remember his name. Walter Goggins. Okay, Walton Goggins. I thought it was Walton Goggins. Saw a lot of him. He was in Django. He was in Hateful Eight. I think he was in Pulp Fiction. No, he wasn't. No, but Eli Roth, another character we saw in a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies.
He was in the Hateful Eight?
Yeah, he was the British guy.
No.
This guy right here with the bowler hat.
That was him?
Yeah, he was the guy that was talking like this, and he said he's the hangman of Red Rock.
That's not Eli Roth. That's not Eli Roth.
Am I getting his name wrong?
You're definitely getting it because I got it right over. Let's see here.
He was the bad guy in the Hulk.
That's Tim Roth.
That's what it was. Sorry.
God. I for a minute there I thought.
Oh, because Eli Roth was the guy from Inglourious Basterds. He was the.
We're gonna have another moment where I thought Jack Skellington was played by Johnny Depp.
Well, this is now my turn for that. And again, that one makes sense. A Tim Burton-esque movie. So, you're not wrong to think that. But yes, a lot of Tim Roth in this movie. And I think if you only know him from the Incredible Hulk movie, go watch his other stuff. He's pretty talented. I like
or She-Hulk.
Less time than there was in the Hulk.
Yeah. No, more time.
I feel like it was less.
He had an entire episode.
Really? I gotta rewatch She-Hulk then.
I thought it was your favorite show.
Never said that. You know my favorite Disney Plus show. And I can't wait to rewatch it come December.
Secret Invasion.
No, close. Hawkeye, but
Your brain's broken.
Colin, I'm a fan of that comic book, man.
I know, and it doesn't mean you have to be a fan of that show, but that's okay. That's
Colin,
another.
Hey, Colin, you know what
you
the
need to get
difference?
help. I think you're sick. I think you need to be on medication.
You know what the difference is between me and every other MCU fan out there right now is that
You're
every
dumb.
single time. You say I'm adopted?
No, I said you're dumb.
Okay. Aside from that, every single time something happens, there's always a few hundred people that go, "Oh man, the MCU's dead." Shambles. No, I say MCU is coming back. Just give it time. Like all things, it comes round, and they do. Everyone's like, "Oh, after Endgame, the MCU's dead." Then they had, what was it? Shang-Chi before Spider-Man.
Shang-Chi was before Spider-Man. Yeah,
Shang-Chi came out and it was fantastic. Then they had Spider-Man: No Way Home. No Way Home.
Loki season 1.
I know. Loki season 1 was truly fantastic. They had, I think, a fun show like What If, and I think there's a lot of other great shows like The Falcon Winter Soldier. That was a lot of fun. I know Colin hates that show.
Yeah, no, I hate that show.
What is so bad about it, Colin?
They destroyed Marvel Zombies.
Colin, let it go. It was one episode.
I can't. I really can't.
Prima donna.
Oh my god.
Either way, it's not that broke. It's resetting. They're having to do new things. Just shut up. Quentin Tarantino. Great.
Dude,
we really talk about nothing for an hour.
No. This actually works because of the structure of this one. Is a lot like a Quentin Tarantino. It's all over the map, dude.
I'll have like a fade of black every 30 minutes of like chapter 2.
Almost like every other time, like screen freezes and your voiceover goes in. You're gonna have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I may have a lot of fun with this episode, y'all.
I gave you a gift.
I don't know if I can do that the way it's been recorded, but I should have done that. I could have done that so much better. Oh, that could have been. Maybe I could do it. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Either way, Quentin Tarantino is definitely a director and writer I'm gonna miss whenever he goes out because of the way he writes and the way that he can direct. Not only I gotta fix myself. Sorry, fix my hat. Not only how he can direct, like a presence of characters in the movie because I've said this a dozen times now. He makes the camera a character, and I don't feel like I see that a lot in my movies. Now I know with some not characters, directors um like who we've done recently, like like Guy Ritchie. He makes
Edgar
those
Wright.
like Edgar Wright. He makes it very much of a character. Guy Ritchie makes a much of a character. But directors like Tim Burton and the guy that did Seven,
David Fincher.
David Fincher. That's gosh, I was so out of it. Yes, thank you, David Fincher, who places the camera and leaves it there, but makes that the whole scene active in a way. Like it's part of that story. Right? But like David Fincher, not David Fincher, Edgar Wright, Guy Ritchie, and now Quentin Tarantino go out of their way to make the camera something extending the movie rather than framing it and adding to the cinematic piece of it. They're adding to the active elements. And I think that's what makes Quentin Tarantino so cool in his sorry, what's going on with me? In his directing, rather than the feet sucking and the way he's written certain things.
Hey, if I have to let go of Marvel Zombies in that What If good episode, you gotta let go of the feet, my guy.
I can't.
Gotta let it go.
I just can't. It's so in there.
I don't know why you can confidently love watching Thor: Love and Thunder, but that feet sucking and Dusk Till Dawn, that's where we cross the line. There's only one good scene in that entire movie, and the rest is just dog, and you know it.
From Dusk Till Dawn?
No, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, hey, Colin.
Yes, sir.
Leave him out of this. He doesn't need to be a part of this conversation. I will join Cameron's team and take down. I can't take him.
That's all.
I can't take him down. I really like him as a director, so that's gonna be.
I finally admitted I don't like Batman versus Superman. I've changed.
I know, Colin. Look, by the way, don't change that because Cameron gave you crap for it. You can enjoy the movie.
No, I had to. No, I told. Remember that.
I know it was a very sad 2 a.m. call.
Story that can be on here. You remember when I sent you that text? I was at work.
We talked about it for a bit on the pod.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we talked about it. I'm like, yeah, you sent me like at 2 a.m. and I was like, Colin, are you okay?
Oh, it wasn't at 2 a.m.
It felt late. It felt late, dude. It didn't feel like it was that early in the day. It was not an early call. I'll tell you that. It was like evening.
Because I had to do a self-reflection because there's only one good scene, really good scene in that movie out of the rest of the 2 other hours. And I was like, I thought to myself, Batman versus Superman is my Thor: Love and Thunder.
I know you said that. Yeah, sorry about that, bud. Quentin Tarantino.
I hate you.
Great writer. He's got very good creative writing in story, not dialogue. But I think he can really do a lot. Colin, please say something. I feel like I'm the only one talking here.
I've been talking this entire time.
About Tarantino and his directing, about his writing.
Goddamn legend. All right. And also, by the way, I'm not too sad about him ending it. And here's why.
It's a good way to go.
That his last movie is going to be amazing regardless. Either amazing or good at best. All right. He has never phoned in a movie, and not even Dusk Till Dawn. Shut up. Because even that movie has some merit of an enjoyable experience. It's just you're not a sadist like I am. And also, by the way, like Quentin, I listened to interviews a while ago from him, and like, you know, just because he's going to be done with movies doesn't mean he's going to be done with like anything creatively. He talked about exploring the idea of doing plays. He's already writing novels. You know, there's multiple things that he can do.
5 feet sucking? Wild.
Dude. Can you imagine Dusk Till Dawn on Broadway?
That's going to be so gross.
Dude, I'll pay tickets to see that. God, that would be awesome.
An opera version of From Dusk Till Dawn.
The opera version of Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
We'll get the Hamilton rapper who was in that show. I hate Hamilton, dude. I hate it.
You mean Lin-Manuel Miranda?
I don't care. But yeah, to wrap up my point, this has to be the best episode we've done
It's
on
gonna
the
be the
film.
most stupidest episode.
All right, besides Dusk Till Dawn, because we can't count. I don't want to count that.
It's such a bad movie.
What has been your least favorite movie to watch out of the bunch?
I mean, let me go back because I think with the I'm taking out Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because I haven't seen it, so that's out for me. For the ones I have seen, Hateful Eight, I'd say, isn't the greatest because Colin, I can't pick really because I'm really grasping at straws because From Dusk Till Dawn is so bad. Hateful Eight is really cool because that 2-hour beginning is them setting up all these different things that come back into the movie later on. So that it has great payoff. I can't say the Hateful Eight logically, but I love Django. I love Inglourious Basterds. I love Kill Bill. It's just like on the list of what I think is great. The Hateful Eight would be a little lower if we're taking out From Dusk Till Dawn. But I'm not even confident on that because I haven't seen Death Proof. So
It's
I can't
fine.
say.
Fine, I know your address.
Hey man,
We're good.
Thor:
We're
Love
good.
and Thunder is a great movie.
You can go right to hell.
Whatever.
You're-
Well,
My
then
God.
what do you think? What do you think? Then taking out From Dusk Till Dawn, which has got to be a cult classic. There's no way that's his top 4 known for good reason. What's his worst?
There isn't a worst.
Don't give me that
No.
Boy Scout answer. Come on.
Boy Scout answer. I don't know. I'd say probably it really have to be Pulp Fiction. And
Whoa!
Whoa!
Wow.
Whoa!
A movie called Pulp Fiction had very little orange juice, by the way. Never got it.
Shut the. God. Why do you have to?
Sorry, go on.
I forgot my point now. I'm focusing on this. Jesus. Anyway, I say Pulp Fiction because it was his first movie, and over the years, he's learned his craft, he's perfected it. So for it being his first movie, it's still a milestone. It's still it made Quentin Tarantino a household name. But I feel like each movie has gotten better than the last. We only take out Dusk Till Dawn because he was only a screenwriter and an actor.
Yeah, because also when I was on Letterboxd, it said Robert Rodriguez as the director. That makes more sense.
Who's Robert Rodriguez again?
He did Spy Kids. He did Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, okay. Because that is, I mean, I only know him from Spy Kids and everything. But he also did Once Upon a Time in Mexico. He did Grindhouse. He was a producer on Ugly Dolls. I do know that. But taking out that, yeah.
All right. And James, before we wrap this
Before we go to SAG-AFTRA and wrap up, yeah.
I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about Quentin Tarantino? Anything at all?
Was I supposed to say something?
No, I just want to make sure you got to be able to say everything you wanted to say. Because we were all over the map, and I don't want you to. I want to distract you and.
Yeah, no, I forgot to do. I forgot to do the thing I normally do in the beginning. He has 23 director credits, 29 writer credits, and 40 actor credits.
40?
40.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, I love Quentin.
I will say though. Let me ask you this before we go to SAG-AFTRA: what's his best role?
Oh, his best role
in his movies, not the ones from other things. His own movies.
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Shut up. That is his creepiest role.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Well, a lot of Quentin Tarantino's characters aren't great people.
They're not great people. Not as worse as that guy. That guy was a criminal sex offender. He wrote that himself.
This isn't a perfect world, James.
I'm not. Okay, whatever. Go on. I'm not continuing this conversation. Get your answer out.
All right. Aside from that, I'd say that I don't know. Like it probably would have to be like
By the way, the
in
narrator does count.
Reservoir Dogs.
Okay, I was gonna say Mr. Brown. Yeah,
Yeah, Mr. Brown was awesome, as dude.
I mean, for the very small seconds he was in there,
I don't know because it just
because
like
the other ones, he's a
having
villain.
having that like opening with like all of them together like at a restaurant, they're each having their own individual conversations and he's having to try to like reiterate what he's saying.
Yeah,
It just like I don't know.
no, I
really
hear you.
I really dig it. I
Yeah.
really dig it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I'm gonna be real here for a second. Steve Buscemi's character, Mr. Pink, deserved his death in that movie because of one thing and one thing only. He doesn't tip waiters or waitresses. That's a cold move. People who don't purposely tip for whatever reason, like if you can't tip, I get it, money's tight and everything. I totally get that. But
James,
for him, because it
I'm glad you addressed.
huh?
I'm glad you addressed this.
Yeah.
That's a good
Because
point.
look, I understand if your whole argument is they can get a different job. Not always the case. Tip your waiters and waitresses. Even if it's $1, a little goes a long way. If you can't afford it, that's fine. I get that. But for those who are like, I don't want to do it because I have a principal in it. Shut up. Just no.
I'm glad
It needed to be said.
Just between you and me, like stop recording for a minute. Just between you and me, come here. We don't really have to, right? Like you don't tip waitresses or waiters, right?
I do.
We don't have to. Okay. Cool.
If they do a really good job, like if they've been super nice and they've been like that, I give them a little more. But then for me, if it's like a normal thing, I don't do crazy amount. Like if it's a mean waiter, I'll be like $1.50 or something.
I just do 1 cent.
I love that. Sorry, I love that Vine years ago where it was like she gave me a receipt for a tip. I left her my phone number, and then it cuts over to the waitress like, "Tipping this guy left me $2 million." It's like he wrote it like, I just thought that was funny.
The right level of stupid.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny. Quick thing before we wrap up. Yeah, let's get to SAG-AFTRA before we wrap this up. We're well over. SAG-AFTRA updates. So, not a lot happened. A lot did, but not a lot enough where it's like an end is now better in sight. It's really sad to see that the strike's now been going on for almost 120 days now. Just about 120 days. So we're getting close to how high WGA got. So SAG-AFTRA met Wednesday to discuss heavily focused on AI issues, as is that's the biggest roadblock in this entire strike. Everything else has been told to be smooth sailing, but AI has been their biggest roadblock. Studios refusing to not use one small bit of technology, so they're just saying we want to use it. They met again Wednesday, and the thing on Wednesday went well. They said they're getting closer and closer to meet again on Thursday. They met again on Thursday, and they said it was very, very okay. It was very quiet that day. They were meeting.
Was no one talking?
Huh?
Was no one talking?
Not a lot happened. Like it was very quiet. There was not a lot of updates, not a lot of bigger updates like that.
Oh, I thought you meant like in the meeting, like they were just
no. It metaphorically quiet. So they said, although a meeting was expected today to negotiate more, the studios have not responded to SAG-AFTRA's revised AI proposal from, I think it was Wednesday. That was their overall comprehensive counterproposal that they gave from Saturday of last week. So they had an AI proposal that they gave for almost a week now that they didn't address for the longest times. They also met again yesterday. As of this recording, it's a Saturday, so they met again Friday, and they stated that SAG-AFTRA will be receiving the AMPTP's best and final offer, which would be that day. This is a tactic used by the studio. Hold on. This is a tactic used by the studio to have opposing unions cave in, only to be accepted. It will only be accepted by SAG-AFTRA if it meets more than fair demands, which is great because they're not just going to give in and do this. Because again, if this doesn't go through in the next 2 weeks, probably they're not going to talk again until January of next year.
Jesus. Okay, so their proposal, right? Because you know this a lot more than I do.
Who's
so
they?
like, I'll elaborate.
I'm sorry.
So you know about this more than I do. So the actors that are this proposal of this deal is one of the deal breakers for those companies. Like, are they fighting to keep AI?
The studio is.
the studio's fighting to keep AI.
Mm-hmm. Actors are like, we don't want it in any capacity.
And none of the actors showed the studios Terminator or Terminator 2.
Terminator 2 is what? What is that going to do with that?
You
You mean AI? Sorry, I thought you meant about. I thought you meant something about an actor strike.
Man. Anyway, like we've all seen what happens with like AI, right? We've seen it with. We're allowed to say the Flash as an example, right? Are you gonna have to bleep me for this one?
I just say we don't talk about the Flash.
We did like 20 minutes ago.
We briefly said it's dis. We didn't really talk about it.
What if we use it for educational purposes? Because I'm using all right. All right. This is already being recorded. Listen to it later. Cut it out if you have to.
About?
Well, I'm trying to get to the point.
I know. I'm trying to figure out what the.
Oh well, I haven't gotten to the point yet.
Go on.
So, Nicolas Cage. All right. Recently.
Okay. Yeah. With Nick. Okay. If that's what you're talking about, then that's
fine. Let me get to my point, and you'll be able to get...
I thought you meant to talk about the movie. Okay. If you're talking about what happened with Nicolas Cage, then that's more than okay because that's so dumb.
James. Anyway,
I don't know. If you go vague, I don't know what you're going to be talking about.
Yeah, because you're not letting me get.
Just go.
Anyway, so Nicolas Cage came out and he's like, no one talked to me. No one came out. I watched that movie. I'm fighting a giant spider and I know that's not me.
Yeah. That he said that maybe, I don't know, yesterday, maybe? Friday as of this recording?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said he did some stuff. Like they had him come in to scan his face, but then that was it. He didn't know what it was about.
I thought he was pretty pissed off about that.
No, he was. The fact was that he went to the studio to do stuff. They didn't tell him what, from what I remember or from what I heard. And then he left, and then he saw the movie, and then that's what they did. But he didn't know what was going on.
Oh my god!
That's what I remember. That's what I remember hearing. I could be wrong, but either way, yeah, that doubles down on the point of why they're striking, because it's stupid stuff like that they're doing.
So, how many of the actors? Because I know that like when they sign those contracts, it's a pretty dense like we're allowed to do this. How many of those actors like they can't like what do you call it? They can't really do anything because if they sign off on their likenesses, then
if you've already signed off on your likeliness, I don't know what you can do there, because the whole point of why the actors are striking is so that they don't sign away their likeliness and have no control. The point of why they're striking is because they want to keep.
Oh no, I know. I'm just talking about those actors that really can't do anything about it. But
here's the thing. There's the SAG-AFTRA negotiation team works with the team at SAG-AFTRA that works with the actors. Like I'm sure they drum up deals based on overall what everyone wants. Like that's why they had the vote to unionize to begin with. They had all these different reasons that the studio are wanting to do that they didn't want to happen. So I don't know all the details of how they negotiate, but I do know that the physical actors that are striking, only a certain number of people are allowed in the meetings for negotiation. That's the negotiation team at SAG-AFTRA. I don't know who it consists of, but I do know it's a very small number. That's why, like, when we talked about George Clooney, Emma Watson, I don't remember whoever it was. There was a group of actors that tried to create the deal where they pay the differences between like the health insurance for the other actors, and they help like give in their own money for it. Remember we talked 2-3 weeks ago about that?
No, we did.
It's a great idea on paper, but Fran, who is the president, was like, hey, can't really do that because it's just not how that works. So actors have very little say in what really goes on. It's the negotiation team that works with everybody that helps drum up that plan. But they are expected to meet today. So as of Saturday, they're expected to be meeting this afternoon to potentially negotiate more, maybe get a new deal. I say it every week, but I feel like the end is near. Just trying to be optimistic about this because, again, it's not really like our profession, so we're not being hurt by any of this. It's just that it sucks that the studios keep they keep delaying movies, and a certain company is now buying full share of a streaming service. I'm gonna keep it vague because it's pretty big.
Heard about that.
You heard about this? A company is buying now full shares. They have a full share for like $8.5 billion, but cannot pay their actors they can't pay like $2,000 out of their own pocket to give to these actors, but they can do all that.
I'm curious, and I'm going to be vague. I'm curious what their plan is, because this company already has a streaming service.
Well, that's their own. This is another one that they didn't start. This is just when they're
I
buying all
know.
the shares for it.
That's why it's confusing that they're getting another one.
Because that one isn't really making much money. This one makes a little more money.
Oh, great. Yeah, I guess we're going to have to cancel that one then. I mean, dude, like, this is... Oh my
it's
God.
insane how that's a real article right now.
Yeah.
Moving up, just they're getting there. I'm really happy for the team that they're sticking strong. They're doing great. SAG-AFTRA is doing an incredible job striking. Please go support them if you can. I still haven't heard any updates about the donation websites. I'm assuming that the same websites work for the WGA, which is still on our page, would still work for them. But that'll have to. Whoop.
I really hate your optimism, but in this circumstance, it's much appreciated.
I just like it's
and
so
it's
dumb.
And to add on to your point earlier is that, like, I know that, like, it really doesn't affect us that much, but again, like, we talked about this last week. It's like, these actors, like, have been around all our lives. We've seen all their movies, seen all their television shows, and we know other projects that they are currently working on right now that we can't necessarily talk about that much, but they're all like in, delayed, indefinitely until everything.
It's not even that. It's just like the studios are refusing to pay these actors a fair wage.
I know. I'm
so
saying
they're like,
that,
let's just keep pushing back the movies. That's no problem.
I know, but like, we're still support them.
I mean, but what the problem is it's not them. It's the studios. What I'm trying to say, the studios are the ones making all the boo-boos.
No, and I'm just saying that, like, I want them to get what they want, so that we could get what we want and go back and be in fans again.
Frankly, I'm enjoying us talking about the writers and everything, which we're still going to be doing this well after the strikes. But I just want the studios to understand that they have, like, they aren't the ones that create the sway. It's the actors. It's the actors that make the sway. I think it's great.
It's everyone behind, like, the camera.
Oh yeah, everybody.
And on camera too.
Yeah. Well, that'll have to wrap up episode 26. Went a little long on that one. Colin, for your birthday. It's Colin's birthday next week. Can you guess what?
No, I'm just curious because I'm wondering where you're going with this.
Well, for your birthday, because you're going to be opening your gift on the pod next week.
Okay.
Can you guess your director?
Zack Snyder.
That's it, baby. Yes. Cameron, if you're watching it this far, we're watching Zack Snyder this week. Bummer. He's going to have to show up for that one.
Can't wait for you to call out again, buddy.
He's sick. He just got the...
Just say you quit. Just say it.
That'll have to wrap up episode 26. Sorry I went a little long there. If you guys have enjoyed the episode, be sure to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you guys are watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the subscribe button and like if you guys did enjoy the episode, and hit the bell for notifications. So when we post, you guys know we don't want you guys to miss out. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok. On Instagram, I post a lot of clues for what's going to be our director next week if you guys haven't watched the episode, or just different things that's going to be going on. So be sure to check us out there, and we'll see you guys next time.